The Israeli army has released footage showing what it says is the tunnel in Rafah, in which 6 Israeli hostages were killed. The deaths of the 6 hostages was announced on the 1st of September after the Israeli forces recovered their bodies. The Israeli military spokesperson, Daniel Hagari, is seen in the video showing the tunnel and elements that were found in it.
Was in a children's room, in a house. Those are the walls of this children's room.
The shaft goes down about 20 meters into the ground, using 4 separate ladders. There, it connects to a narrow tunnel with no rooms that is so low you can't stand up straight in it. The tunnel is about 120 meters long and ends in a blocked iron door. This short blocked part of the tunnel murdered.
We know that between 2 to 6 terrorists were here with the hostages. We are gathering all the stuff here for forensics, for intelligence. We can see magazines, an AK-47 magazine, chargers, all used by the terrorists. We pray and think in our hearts and minds.
The deaths of these Israeli hostages has intensified outrage across Israel as the citizens continue to immediately call for a ceasefire. Meanwhile, relief measures are underway in the Gaza Strip. A United Nations convoy carrying workers for a polio vaccination campaign in Gaza was held at gunpoint at an Israeli military checkpoint. A United Nations spokesperson said that shots were fired and its vehicles were rammed in by Israeli bulldozers. He said that the convoy's movements were fully coordinated with the Israeli forces and all details were provided ahead of time. But when the team reached a checkpoint, the Israeli forces said that they wanted to hold 2 UN staff members for questioning.
Yesterday's incident involving a UN convoy stopped by Israeli forces is the latest example of the unacceptable dangers and impediment that humanitarian personnel in Gaza are experiencing.
Outrage has continued over the killing of the American-Turkish national during a protest against the illegal occupation of Palestinian land by the Israeli settlers in the West Bank. The American President Joe Biden has now said that Israel's killing of the activist last week appears to have been an accident.
What's your reaction, sir, to the killing of the Israeli admission that they probably killed the Turkish activist in the West Bank?
Finding more detail, apparently it was an accident, ricocheted off the ground, and it got hit by accident. But I'm working that out now.
Meanwhile, the Hamas group has issued a statement attributed to the militant group's chief Yahya Sinwar. According to the statement, Sinwar has congratulated Algeria's incumbent president, Abdelmajid Tebboune, after his election victory. The statement said that Sinwar had stressed Tebboune's support for the Palestinians and also said that the Palestinians and their resistance are fighting heroically. The statement has assumed significance as Sinwar is believed to be hiding in the tunnels in the Gaza Strip and has issued very few public statements since the launch of the 7th of October attack. In fact, he is viewed as the mastermind behind the attack and was named as the Hamas's top leader after Ismail Haniyeh was assassinated by the Israelis in late July in Tehran. The Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant had vowed earlier this week that Israel would in fact kill Yahya Sinwar and his brother Mohammed. But Israel's chief negotiator for hostages, Gal Hirsch, has now said that if Sinwar releases all hostages, then Israel would provide him with a safe passage out of the Gaza Strip. And WION's correspondent from the State of Israel, Jody Cohen, has sent us this report. Listen in.
So there's been shock across the political spectrum, seeing the conditions in which the hostages have been held in the tunnels. Israel's cabinet was shown the footage of the tunnels and several ministers were reportedly brought to tears. The Hostages Families Forum has said that the footage showed that the 6 executed hostages really suffered until their last breath and that the lives of other hostages hang by a thread. And last night, hundreds of protesters were in Tel Aviv demanding a deal. Now, the Tikva Forum for Hostage Families said that they're shattered to the core. They accused Hamas of not being interested in a deal, and they believe that negotiations with Hamas should not continue. White House spokesperson John Kirby stated that Hamas is the main obstacle to a deal right now, but that the US is working day and night to try to reach agreement. Israel's point person for the hostages, Gal Hirsch, suggested that if Hamas head Yahya Sinwar would give up control of Gaza and release all of the hostages, that Israel would provide Sinwar with safe passage out of Gaza. And US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that the US would present a new proposal very soon. So in the debate, Vice President Harris said that she would continue to work around the clock for a ceasefire and hostage deal, for a two-state solution, for security for Israel and the Palestinians, and to give Israel the ability to defend itself against Iran and its proxies. And she said that she supported Israel for her entire life. Now, President Trump responded that if Harris was president, he believes that Israel wouldn't even exist in 2 years' time. He said that she hates Israel and the Arab populations who would all be blown up, and suggested that's because the Biden administration gave Iran money. Trump said that he would get the war settled fast before even becoming president, which suggests the period between the election in November and the inauguration in January. Now, Harris has indicated that she would continue the policies of the Biden administration, but she is considered to the left of President Biden, and in recent months has been more critical of Israel. But commentators suggest that Prime Minister Netanyahu's recent speech to Congress was aimed at highlighting the bipartisan support in America for Israel, and that the Israeli government would seek to work closely with whoever becomes the next president.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.